on this episode are going to be like, what? This has nothing to do with volleyball.
That's where we're going now. It's more about life.
Okay, love it.
Yeah, the podcast is more about life.
I love that.
You're back on.
Okay.
Last time you were on, we established your name as the chick farmer. The chic farmer. And now you went out and kind of did some farming.
Yeah. Now I'm like a real farmer. No, I'm not a real farmer, but like can be called more of a farmer.
Yeah. Well, what... So, actually, can you just give, like, a background?
Yeah.
Just give, like, a quick, like, back of the book overview.
Okay.
Of what
So,
you
basically, after Chicago last year, I was in a violent rage. No, I was just, like, not doing well. And I was on TikTok, and I saw this, like, this girl, like, was at this school. And I was like, oh, my God, this is a school that I always wanted to go to. And Maddie Kleinman, Alex Kleinman's little sister, who was a senior when I was a freshman at UCLA, had gone to this program, and she would like post these little snippets, like pre-2020, I think, like a long time ago.
Yeah.
She was like posting little snippets of like, and I was like, whatever you're doing, like I need to go. And so she told me about it. And I was always like, whenever I'm done with volleyball after kids, like I'm going to this program. And then I saw it after Chicago, and I was like, I'm just going to apply. Like, I don't think I'll get in. And then I got in, and so then I went. But basically, I was there for like almost 7 weeks.
And this was in Sicily?
In rural Sicily,
okay. In
a village of 2,000 people. I lived with a Sicilian family that spoke not a lick of English. They were the best humans I've ever met. And then, yeah, like every week was a different theme. It was not really culinary school. It was like culinary, farming, agriculture, food language, food processing, like all things food.
It was like farm to table university.
Yes, kind of. But even like more, instead of just like the products from the farm, like seeds and like the history of where the seeds came from and how they came from, like, you know, wild plants to cultivated plants, all of that. It was just so cool.
So I didn't know that you knew about this program years ago.
Yeah, I
thought you had just stumbled across it.
No, this was like a dream. This was a lifelong dream.
No kidding.
And then I was just like very impulsive as I am. I'm like, I'm just gonna apply. I don't like, and then I did it, and I actually applied late, and I wrote this email, and I was like, please accept me, please. And then I met the lady, and she was like, your email like made us all laugh, and we were like, we'll pity letter in. And I'm like, yes, whatever it takes. So always just do it, even if you're late. Just send it. Yeah, but it was incredible. I think I went to like learn about food and like to look, because I always have had this passion of like agriculture and growing my own food and all of that, but also like I think I needed a break. Mm-hmm. I feel like I was really looking to like explore myself, not just as a volleyball player, because I feel like I've always like identified as like Zana the volleyball player. Right. And so I'm like, what else can Zana be? So that was kind of another big reason for it.
And it's always interesting when you do like a complete cleanse. Like
yeah.
You were out.
Oh,
of the
I was
volleyball world.
So out. It was wild.
Did you at any point, like, I'm sure that you probably thought about it for a little bit, and then there's a tipping point where you forgot about it.
Yes. Oh, totally. Like, when I got there, I was like, I couldn't care less about volleyball. I lifted the whole time because I like lifting, and right. I knew that I would regret it when I came home. Mm-hmm. So I lifted the whole time, but I kind of didn't follow a regular program, which I had never done. I just like lifted what felt good, which was really cool.
That's kind of fun.
Totally different. And like,
the meathead.
Yeah, it was so cool. It was me and all these like Italian 14-year-olds like pumping. It was sweet. But yeah, so when I got there, couldn't care less about volleyball. I was just like so enthralled. But we were there, 7 weeks is a long time.
Yeah.
And at week 3, everybody was like, okay, like, what the hell are we doing? Like, we made a really big, interesting decision. Like, why are we here? And I think it was the same time that Doha was going on.
Okay.
And so I was watching that a little bit, and then I had like an existential crisis. Like, why am I here? Like, I'm going to be so behind, and like had a full meltdown and like called one of my friends, just like sobbing, full hyperventilating, because I was like, it was this kind of like a big risk, I guess. And like, I definitely know that I'm going to take a step back in this career that I've been doing for so long. In retrospect, I like think it's totally worth it. I don't know if I'll think that once AVP Huntington comes around, but yeah, there was a point where I was like, what am I doing? And like, I was like, who's playing with who? I started like stalking all of the volleyball websites, trying to like figure out the tee. And then the next day I like was back in rural Sicily, like farming with the sheep. And I'm like, okay, actually this is a good idea.
That had to have been like so fulfilling on so many levels.
Yeah.
Because you were just out there in nature.
Yeah.
All day.
Yeah, it was like so special. I think coming back, I've been home like 2-ish weeks now, and it's been hard. Like, it's been like, I don't know, a lot of questioning, like so many things that were normal. And like, I think my brother and my boyfriend are going to be so annoyed with me, but I'm like, don't eat that. That's like the, you know, like I'm like so like kind of snobby now, but it's hard. It's like, I was so rural. I spent 10 plus hours a day with no cell service.
That's awesome.
I was with 14 strangers I had never met from all over the world. And then when I got home, nobody was awake. And I would sit between my host mom and my host dad on Google Translate talking about my day for 3 hours every day. And that was my daily routine. Like, I was so disconnected and just in such a different world. It's definitely like something I'll literally never forget. It was so, so special.
Was there, like, what were the expectations to reality
in terms of like going there or
really
coming
just
back?
Experience, because when I feel like it's kind of like that saying, "Don't meet your heroes." Like, you had this
was
a dream bucket list experience.
Yeah.
Did it like, where were the expectations versus reality of what it ended up being?
I think we didn't cook like at all.
Right.
And I think that was like an expectation that I thought I'd come home and be able to be like, yeah, I know how to cook. Like, I'm a beast, but oh shoot, sorry. Are we good?
I'm just checking.
Okay. I thought I would be good at cooking, but I didn't learn how to cook. So that was like, I knew it wasn't a culinary school, but I think I would have like, I was a little bummed that I didn't learn more about cooking. And I think that when I set out to go, I was like, I'm going to go on this like solo spiritual journey in Italy, but really like the people were such a big part of it. Like, I don't know, we're at a time in our life where like we're not meeting that many new people all the time, and like we're not like spending, I don't know, and we don't have real jobs, you know, like we don't go to the office and spend like X amount of time with all these people and then go home and have our other lives.
Yeah.
But like we got so intimately close with 14 strangers from all over the world with things that like people I would just never cross paths with. And like so much of my world is sport, and these people are like, what's a volleyball? You know, like they're just so far removed from that. So having that experience with these people and the people from the community and the people who like wanted to share with us, and like these inspiring stories from all these incredible like people that had nothing to do with sports was like really eye-opening to me, because I've always idolized like Kobe Bryant, Tiger, you know, like these like sports heroes, but there's so many incredible people doing other incredible things out there. And it doesn't take away from my love for volleyball, but it just like opened my eyes so much. And I think that was like one of the biggest takeaways that I had like zero expectation for.
It's always interesting how that stuff can change kind of like in the short term. You still love playing volleyball, but I feel like that probably altered what your long-term vision might look like.
Yeah, I think I always knew I wanted to like live on a farm and like have chickens. Like I've always tried to have the best of both worlds. Honestly, if it did anything, it confused me more. I don't know what to do now. I love volleyball, but I also love Earth, and like I want to protect it and I want to teach people about it. So yeah, I don't know.
Well, you can. I mean, there's the fall.
Totally. No, there's a way to do both. And I think like social media has been like a big thing that has been a challenge for me in the past like couple of years. And I've felt like I have this like following that I want to like utilize, but I don't necessarily feel like I want to be like, oh, I work this hard and I do that, you know, and like, oh, here's me in a bikini. Like that doesn't feel great to me. But now I'm like, I could like use this to like teach people and like do good and like educate people on food and like share something else that I'm so passionate about. So that was like a really exciting thing where I'm like, I can use this platform that I'm gaining from volleyball to like do something and share like positivity and like knowledge to a big group of people, which is such a like gift.
Yeah. Social media is such a double-edged sword.
Oh, it's it's something that's been so heavily on my mind for the past couple of years.
Because, I mean, it can just take you on the gnarliest rabbit holes and death scrolls, but at the same time, you found out about the program on social media.
I mean, so much good comes from it.
And there's so much good that can come from it. But there's also
the worst. The worst.
Like the worst so of humanity is on social media.
Seriously. Yeah, it's been something I think I posted a lot while I was there, but I deleted Instagram all day, would post all at once at home, and I wasn't on it nearly as much as I have been on, and I needed that social media cleanse, I feel like. Yeah, it's hard. Yeah.
My view on social media was altered, and just volleyball and life in general changed so much. And I was only gone for 6 days on that elk hunt. And I came back, and I was telling you at dinner last night, I looked at my phone, like, what are we doing?
Totally.
Why?
Yeah.
I was just in the mountains, no service for 6 days, and it was awesome because it was so real.
Yeah.
And then you come back, and it's like, none of this is all that real. We just kind of made this up.
Totally. No, seriously. I've thought that so much since I've been home. It's like our olive oil professor at school.
I love you had an olive oil professor.
She was talking about olive oil, and she said something that has been a theme since I've gotten home. And it's what do we put value to? Mm-hmm. And she was teaching us how to properly buy olive oil, what to look for when buying. And somebody was like, well, it's so expensive to get the good quality olive oil that you're talking about. And she's like, is it though? How much do you spend on a bottle of wine? And I'm like, 30, whatever, at X amount. And she's like, how long does that last you? 1 night, maybe 2? And I'm like, 1. And she's like, but how long will a bottle of olive oil last you? So it's just where are you putting your value? Right. And then I'm like, wait, where am I putting my value in my time, what I'm putting in my body, where I'm spending my money? I just feel society with social media and just how quickly we're progressing, our value of we're putting our values in very interesting places.
Yeah. I always think about what's your brain diet? Because it's easy to talk about your nutrition. Are you eating vegetables? Are you eating good lean meat and all this stuff? But then our brains were just Instagram, TikTok. What shows are you watching? What books are you reading? What podcasts are you listening to? What are you feeding your brain?
Totally.
I'm very conscious of that. When I get stuck,
that's smart.
If I'm on a plane, I'm like, oh, this is just junk food, both in the mind and in the brain.
In the mind and body. That's hilarious. What's so scary about it too is for myself, I know it's bad for me, and then I keep doing it, and it's that is so scary. How addictive it is, and I'm I know it makes me so upset when I'm on it, and then I'm over here just it's just so habitual, and and kids, and it's just really freaky.
Yeah, and it's hard because, and I was thinking about this when we were in Mexico, that Instagram is actually how I communicate with a lot of the international players.
Yeah,
and it's hard because so much of what I do, my whole living, a lot of it's based on social media.
Yeah,
and so I'm it's bad, but good.
Yeah, and that's the thing too.
It's hard to wrestle with it.
It really is my job. That's where I make more money than playing volleyball. So it's and there's so much opportunity there. So it's yeah, it's just hard. Do I spend a lot of my time and energy in curating and what's it called? Content creating when I don't enjoy it. I don't but there's so much opportunity, and it's a livelihood that allows me to continue what I'm doing and do what I love. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely an internal struggle. But I think for me, the biggest thing that's been I've learned or that I've digested while being gone is who the F cares?
Yeah.
I think I was so worried about posting the right thing and the right caption and being the right person that I started altering who I actually was.
Isn't that scary?
So I didn't
do that.
It's really terrifying. Yeah. And I think that was another I learned so much while I was gone, but it was another big one. It's who is this person? That I've curated because I feel that's what I'm supposed to be doing, or I remember so vividly actually I posted a caption for my first Manhattan Open.
Okay.
And you were Instagram's best captioner. And then after that, I feel I felt so much pressure to be a good captioner. And it's just like little and then it's like, okay, no, now I have to make it like this. But it's like, no, when I'm drunk, I make the best captions because I don't care what other people think. Right. And so it's just like been a big thing for me, like these past 2 weeks being home, to keep doing it. But like since I've been gone, like to just be yourself, and like that is like people like that way more.
Yeah.
And it's way better inside my heart.
And I mean, that's what matters, because I think about it, because I always try to run things through the filter of like that I'm consuming either books or whatever, that is this a vegetable for my brain, or is this
right.
junk food? Is this food or fun? And so what I try to put out into the world is mostly vegetable content. Like, is this going to be good
right.
for someone to watch or read or listen
right.
to? That's what I shoot for.
That's good.
But it is hard, because you look, if you want to game the algorithm, you just do junk food content.
Totally.
And it just pops off.
Totally. It's like my least favorite videos are the ones where I've gotten the most attention.
Right.
And it's like these things I'm so passionate about, nobody cares about. It's like so defeating. And it's hard not to like fall into that trap.
Yeah.
And every like social media person is like, you need a niche. Like you have to find your niche. And like, well, I don't want to be a niche because I'm so many things. Like I don't want to just be a volleyball player. I'm like so much more than that.
Right.
And then, like I said, it just starts becoming you. What you're on social media, and it's like,
yeah,
it's crazy.
But in the same sentence, you say that, you know, I'm so much more than that, but that could be your niche is just this cross section of so many things.
Yes.
Like you are pretty much one of one, a beach volleyball farmer.
Yeah.
Who loves cooking. The more cross sections you create for yourself, the more unique you become, and then you just dominate that niche. The
uniqueness.
Yeah.
You dominate. You're a one of one.
Exactly.
I like it, Travis.
Blue ocean strategy.
I like it. I'm there. Because that's I'm not going to cave. It's my new goal. Not caving.
I love that.
To these mother truckers.
That's a try always laughs, because he's like, bro, you didn't even realize that you were creating a market of one when you became a beach volleyball playing writer, podcaster
guy.
Yeah. Like,
you just were you. And that's like, you were just originally you. And then people loved it.
Yeah.
Because you're being yourself. People love it. They love it.
It's so fun to do. So I think the more stuff you have, the more wide-ranging categories that you can just fit into your cross-section without stretching yourself too thin.
Right.
I think the more niche you become, but that makes you more powerful in that niche. I don't know.
I like it. I'm with that strategy.
Now, did you end up missing volleyball?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot.
That's a great sign.
Totally.
Because I feel like you were burnt.
Yeah, I was so burnt. Physically, emotionally, mentally.
Yeah.
I'd never been in a place like that. But rather quickly I realized I missed it for many reasons too, like reasons I didn't like think I would miss it. I think that the reality just hit me that I still love playing volleyball. Mm. I think it's just like the hoopla of beach volleyball is exhausting. And yeah, even like that whole my personal self identity and all of that was like translating in my play. And I think like when I talked to like my family of like why I was going, because they were kind of like, you're doing what? I was just like, I know that I can't be the person or player I want to be if I continue on this route.
Yeah.
Like I'm not playing well. I'm not happy. I'm very not happy. And it's like coming out in my performance. Like, so if I keep on this path, I need something to change. And like, why not go big? And so I think being gone, I realized like, I don't know, I think just so much gratitude for like getting to do this as a job and getting to do something I love, because I don't know, it's around a lot of people who did what they loved and were so happy and later in life and like were so proud and so grateful to share it with me, and then around people who didn't do what they love and it was so obvious also. And also just like gratitude for like getting to like use my body every day and like take care of my body. And like I felt awful when I was not playing and like eating cheese and bread and like I just like that's not how I like to feel, you know? Like and like it was such a great experience, and I was like, I want to live it to the fullest. So I ate everything. I stayed out late to like gain it all, but I felt terrible. And like I realized how much I value my body and like feeling a certain way. And And even just like practices I missed so much. Like I love the monotony of like going out every day and getting reps and improving as like a player and like working on like my mind and all of those different things. So it's been fun to be back, but it's also very hard because I've been gone a long time. I've missed a lot.
I think a clear sign that you did miss is that you missed practice.
Yeah.
What I'm noticing is that a common trend of the elite players, especially since now I've like gotten on the road again and just chatting with them, is that the ones who are really good are the ones who love and miss practice. I was talking with Heather Bansley after they won bronze, and she was like, "This is fun, but I love practice."
I love practice. Like I never thought about games actually.
Really?
But not when I watched people play, I would like feel envy because I like wanted to be feeling that fire that like, but mostly I just wanted to be practicing and like working out in the gym and practicing. Like it's so fun.
What I've found that I've missed about playing, one, I really do love just playing, but when I wasn't practicing, I missed just the social aspect of hanging out with my friends for 2 hours on the beach every day.
See, I don't miss out that much, if I'm going to be honest. Girl, I don't know. I think I need to be more open-minded, but it's like, it's tense with the girls. Not tense, but it's like...
It's not as... the
jovial.
Guys... Yeah, I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah.
It's really loose. It's kind of like... it's sort of like a competitive fraternity.
Yeah.
The guys, where we're just like, we're all buddies, hate each other for a weekend, but it's like, oh, you want to play Denver? Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, you get that vibe where it's like that chill, but it's like, oh, you're playing with who? Oh my God, they practice with them? Like, oh my God, like that part to me, I'm just like, I can't. It was so stressful. And I think that's why, another part of why I needed out for a little bit, like not to be like counting points. Like, it's like a little bit toxic, I feel like because of like, there's no governing body and like because we're all just in control and like they have the ability to leave and it's just like constant stress.
Yep.
And since I've been back, I mean, I've been back 2 weeks, so like you might catch me in 2 weeks being like a crazy person, but I just like, it'll work out. Like, I think that time away was so helpful for me to like see it like from afar instead of just being in it and just like life or death. If this person doesn't pick me and I don't have enough points and I'm in the quali, like my life's over, you know?
Yeah.
Because we love it so much and you want it.
And it's, people say, it's just a game, but it also is your livelihood.
Yeah.
And it is important. At the end of the day, it is just a game and the world's going to keep spinning regardless of whether or not you win. But I don't like trivializing the results like a lot of us tend to do. And I got into it. I was like, I lose. Oh, it's just a game. I lost $1,000 though. Yeah.
It's all like relative. I don't know. Namir, one of Micah's teammates, one of the best players in the world, he's like always like, it's just a game. And he's always saying that. And I'm like, but it's not just a game. Like it matters. Like, and if I don't do this and I can't do this, and I'm like, because you think it's like, he's so relaxed about it. And like, we've had so many conversations about it and he's just like, it's just volleyball. Like, it's just volleyball. And he like really believes that. And after a game, like he's not like, he's in it when he's in it and then he can be out of it so quickly. And I'm like, is that why you're so good?
Like, for some people, I think that's a superpower.
Yeah.
But I think there's a mix because you get the Michael Jordans.
Right.
Who he'd lift for 3 hours after he lost because he was just obsessed with it. It wasn't okay for him to lose. But then you get the Namirs, who it might be a superpower for him to just disengage and live his life and be happy. And I don't know, I mean, who would I rather be, a Namir or Jordan? Probably Namir.
Yeah. I mean, he's living the life.
And I don't know him, but he is really fun to watch.
Yeah.
And he seems to be a pretty happy, content dude.
Totally. Yeah, he's great vibes. I think my time with Kerri was also really big.
Yeah, how was that?
A really big, I don't know, event in my career. Obviously, it was incredible. I feel like I learned so much. And I think, I don't know, it's one of those people where you like idolize them and you see them as one thing or assume things, and like actually getting to see her day to day and how she communicates it was just amazing because you like I said, you just idolize them. And once you can like actually see, like she's the goal, like nobody, you can't do better. And so it's like, I don't know. It was just really interesting to see what it took for her and like what her mentality was like and who she is, like what she embodies. It was incredible, and I'm very grateful for our time together.
How did that come about? Because you've been gone for so long. I was trying to think about, I was like, what did Z do last year? Oh, she just played with the greatest of all time. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy. She asked me to practice, and we started practicing, and then I think she was talking to other people, and eventually she was like, do you want to try and make a run together? And I was like, let's do it. I mean, like, if anybody... I would love to do it with you. And whatever that even took, whatever it meant, I was like, just any time with her to me felt very valuable. And then we played in the King of the Court. Mm-hmm. And she was like, kind of had a nagging foot issue. And then the day before we were supposed to leave for Brazil, I think I was actually on the podcast right before.
Okay.
She broke her foot she went to the doctor finally.
Okay.
Because she was doing like some like crazy medicine thing. And she's like, actually, I'm going to try going to the doctor after like months of not. And she needed surgery. And so then we didn't go to Brazil, or I went. She didn't go to Brazil. She got the surgery, and it was supposed to be 3 weeks. And then we were going to still play in X, Y, and Z. And then it was 4 weeks and 5 weeks. And so like, it became like after Manhattan. So all summer I was kind of waiting on her.
Yeah.
Which put me and Deanna in a really tough position. And then eventually she was like, I think that she couldn't walk in sand after like
That's brutal.
4 months. It was a long time. But she was like, she's been very supportive and very kind, and she's been a great person to have and to have experienced some time with.
And I'm probably super cool just to practice with her.
Just
and see how she works and how she thinks.
Totally. Like one of the goats. Like you spend a little time with her and you're like, I get it.
Yeah. It was funny. My brother, he always loves just making up sports debates that there's no winner, but it's just to argue and yell at each other for a while. But we were talking about the most dominant athletes of all time. And I was like, all right, are we doing mainstream sports or are we including Olympic sports? Because that's big. If you include Olympic sports, none of the mainstreams are really going to be involved. Because you got like Phelps, Kerri and Misty. Like you can't discount them.
Totally.
And I would put Kerri and Misty. They have to be like a top 5 most dominant team all time.
It's crazy. Everywhere in the country, they're like, you say you play beach volleyball, and they're like, what's the ones, Kerri? Yeah. I'm like, yeah, those are the ones.
It's either them or who's the tall guy? Doll Hooser?
Crazy.
Well, have you kind of reevaluated what you want to get out of volleyball?
I don't know if I've like set goals yet because I also got my shoulder fixed while I was gone. Mm-hmm. And so I think I need to like see where my body's at before I like make any assumptions.
Yeah.
But I think just like this little bit of a fresh perspective, I hope to carry on because like I'm having a really good time and I'm like really happy.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that also I've through stepping away, like realized that I have impact on the younger generation and continuing to like try and be a good example for them and like show them through social media or podcasts, like what I think is important about sports and like, just to like share whatever I can with like younger generations because I feel like for a long time I'm like, no, like nobody wants to hear what I have to say, you know? But just like in my DMs or whatever, like there are people out there, whether it's 1 or 5, like I would love to like, if I can help anybody, cause it's hard and I've struggled a lot through my like whole sports career. And I felt like very challenged because of it. And so I would love to like help people mostly with like the not actual volleyball side of it, but like the mental side of sports and being a girl with like the competition and just dealing with our emotions and trying to be the best you can be at what you're doing. That's something I'm like become a lot more passionate about doing. Yeah.
Well, what steps have you taken as far as that goes? Because everyone has different mental training stuff. Or how have you seen yourself grow in that area?
Well, I think for a long time I didn't put a lot of focus on it.
Okay.
I was just like kind of free as a bird, which I think was working in some regard. And then I started putting so much focus in it that almost it was too far the other way. Yeah. I think just like learning how to control my mind has been something that's like I've been working a lot on, and it goes on the court definitely, but also off the court. Mm-hmm. Being able to control your brain is really, really cool and like very powerful.
And hard.
It's so hard. And like by no means am I an expert, but when I do it, or like there's things I'm really good at controlling, and there's things that I am like, nope, I can't do it. Like, you know, and I'm like, I can never do it. I'll never be able to do it. But like trying to start doing those things that I'm like, you know, my glass of wine, like that to me, I'm like, no, I'm never going to not. But like, right. Oh no, I can not. And like, sort of chipping at those types of things is really, really cool. Or like on the court for me, it's like negative self-talk. Like I'm constantly just like bashing on myself. And then for a long time I was like, no, that's just how I do it. Mm-hmm. But like being able to like chip away at that and start controlling that is like a very empowering feeling that gives you so much confidence. And like, it's a challenge and a struggle. But for me, that's like definitely the biggest thing.
Yeah. It's been really funny coaching. Because it's warm in the studio. But because out here, try and Kame will hit a ball out of bounds. You're like, nice shot, idiot. Yeah. And I'll just be like, man, I used to say that to myself all the time. And I'll just ask Kame, like, did that help? And sometimes he's like, actually, yeah, it made me laugh a little bit. And then other times you'll say, that probably wasn't the best thing to say. But it's fascinating just being on the other side of it, where I'm just observing people's self-talk, because I would just make fun of myself all the time. And I think that's a natural thing that golfers do. Like you'll hit a shot and just berate yourself, and that carried over into volleyball. But now I look at it like, is that helping? Right.
No, totally. And so like you said, sometimes it does. And like sometimes it needs to be said. But yeah, to me it's just like more than even just like the psychology of like positive talk and all of that, but just the amount of confidence it gives me to be able to control my mind is like very powerful.
It is. Do you do like meditation, breathing?
I guess it's a form of meditation. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I just do like a lot, I guess like visualization and meditation. And yeah, it's like just like an internal dialogue. But I have to have my eyes closed when I do it. And that's something I'm working on. Because on the court, I can't just be like, right. You know? So, yeah. A lot of just like changing the inner dialogue. And since I've been home, just like when I was in Italy, I was just like, I'm so happy. This is the most amazing thing. And like, it wasn't an intentional switch. But now that I'm home, like that positivity has just like carried on. And I'm like, the way that I'm experiencing life here with that lens is so much better. So, like, how can I continue that on?
It's super cool.
Yeah.
I'm reading this book right now I think you would love. It's called The Power of Intention.
Okay.
And it's funny because if you would have put this book in my hands 10 years ago, I had read the first page and just been like, what is this hoop-de-doo-dah?
Hoop-de-doo-dah, yeah.
But now I'm reading it, and there's just so much to it.
Right.
It's funny how much you change over the course of 10 years. Like, and the timing of when you either meet someone or have a conversation or just put a book in your hands, it changes everything. But when I'm done reading it,
I'll have it. I would love it.
Which, by the way,
The Confident Mind.
The Confident Mind.
It's a big life-changing book for me. It has
exploded amongst our SANDCAST
really?
listeners. Yeah.
Aww.
So, and I've recommended it to everyone I've worked with. So Evan, that's now his favorite book. Evan
really?
Corey.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shout out to my brother. He
so
gave it
JJ,
to me.
The ripple effect of JJ recommending that to you, and
it's
then
an
you
incredible
recommend that to me on the podcast. So many people have picked up a copy and then said that that's one of the most useful books they've ever read.
Totally. That book changed my ideas on mindfulness and the mind completely, because I was kind of an anti. I was kind of like, no, I don't know. Part of me was just resistant. I'm stubborn. But the way that he explained it and like made it feel not so hoop-de-doo-dah. I was like, I can sort of buy into this, you know, I can buy in. I'm like, wait, no, I'm buying it. I bought it.
Yeah. Well, it's hard because it's not measurable. You can't, if you're squatting.
Right.
And you squat more weight, you can measure that and you can see that progress. But the stuff all the immeasurables, like the happiness, the fulfillment, the confidence, you have no idea if it's going up. And so that's why it comes off as so hoop-de-doo-dah and weird, but there's something to it.
Right, and then you like feel it a little bit, and you're like, wait, no, this is good. This they're onto something, all of these people.
Yeah. Are you reading anything good right now? Not a cookbook from Turkey, huh?
No. Micah's supposed to get me a cookbook every year, but he's not doing that. What am I reading right now? Oh, I am. I'm reading, I'm almost done, but it's by Michael Gervais, How to Not Fear of Other People's Opinions. And I started reading that in Italy, and I think that like really helped with my like detachment a little bit, or just like starting to realize a lot of things about like how much I was starting to care about other people's opinions. And I really, really like it. I recommend it, especially girls. I don't know, maybe boys too. It
was so fun having him on the podcast to talk about it. And
he was on?
Yeah.
Well, I need to listen.
We went to his mastery lab in El Segundo. It was awesome.
Oh my God, cool.
And just to hear him talk about it, I was just like drooling over every word he said. I'm like, you're a genius.
He's amazing. Yeah. I've been obsessed with him for a very long time. And yeah, I really recommend the book. It's been really good.
And it's so cool just how many people he works with. He
Everybody.
goes from F1 to people jumping out of planes. And now he's working with Mel and Brandie and tries meeting up with them in a couple weeks. And it's awesome. He's just like, I just want to talk to all these high performers and pick their brains. He's like, I'm learning as much from you guys
so cool.
as you are from me.
Yeah, he's awesome. But yeah, I'm reading that one right now.
That's a good read.
Yeah.
Recommend. You mentioned that you missed a few things that you didn't expect.
About volleyball?
About volleyball.
I think like my body was a big one. And... yeah, mostly just like my body. Like it was just so overwhelmingly obvious every day. Like when I woke up, how I felt, and just like the gratitude for getting to do this as a living, and like my body being, I think for a long time, I've been in pain for a long time. I've had so many injuries that I like kind of resented that part of it. And I think I just, for the first time, I was like, no, actually this is like such a gift that like, I don't know. My dad played football, and I see the damage that he's living with now. And I've always just been like, gosh, like we go through so much. We put so much on our body, but also like everybody else who is sitting in a 9 to 5, they're putting a different type of stress on their body. And like to work out, they have to wake up so early, or like even like we were on a bus at like 8 every morning. We got home at 6. And then I would go to the gym, and I'm like, this is what it's like to just get a workout in for most people. And like, that just was like a big perspective switch for me, because I dreaded it, and like I was so tired, and like, but it felt like I needed to do it because my body was like craving it. But I think that was just like a big moment of gratitude.
Yeah. I've never regretted doing a lift.
Never.
It might be, it's so hard. It's so hard to get the ball rolling sometimes. Delaney always says an object in motion stays in motion, but to get the object in motion, sometimes it takes a lot.
Totally.
Especially yesterday, because what's today? Tuesday? Yeah, getting off the plane, and I was tired and wanted to take a nap. But then when Austin went down for his nap, I had a choice. Like, I can nap with him, or I can lift. And I lifted and felt so much better. Never regretted lifting.
Never. Micah always says that he's like inertia. Like he's like, if I'm going, I will go. But as soon as I stop, you can get me to do nothing. So like if he goes and like does the dishes, I'm like, can you do this and this and this? And like once he's just sitting, I'm like, I'm not even going to ask. You're not getting up.
It's amazing. Cleaning, once you get started cleaning.
Totally.
Oh, you can't stop.
And it's so fun.
It can be. You know who loves cleaning is Kame. So whenever we stay at an Airbnb.
Oh, that's a dream.
Oh, it's great because Kame loves doing it. So we won't make a mess on purpose.
Right.
But some things might not go so well. And Kame, it's like a little meditation for him. He just like whirls around. I wake up every morning and the Airbnb is spotless.
Wow. That's a good quality.
It is, especially for me and Troy. We're not like sloppy people, but things would add up.
You're boys.
We're boys. Now, do you think that you're going to get back on the world tour?
I have no idea. I would love to. I think that's something like well, this is my negative self-talk, but I've never played well on the world tour, and I like feel like I have a lot more that I want to do, and like I would love to, but I'm not. I'm kind of just trying to be kind to myself and just like whatever. Like if I find a partnership that works out and like that's something we want to do, then I'm open to it. But if I'm not gonna like force it, like I think I have in the past, like grab a rando and we just like go wing it. I don't see the value in it as much anymore. I mean, it's still valuable and they were incredible lessons, but right now I'm just not there. But who's to say? I don't know but I would like to.
Yeah.
But for now I need to learn how to pass volleyball again. That's step one.
How was it getting back on the sand?
Honestly, I feel a bit like it was better than I expected. The arm is like really crazy because I had it worked on or operated on. And so feels like disconnected from my body. So that'll take time for sure. But it's really exciting to me because I've been living with so much pain for a really long time. So super exciting, but that is like very different. But everything else, like I was very happy with. I mean, I've been gone for like 6 months, 5 months.
Gosh, like when you go, you're gone.
I know. And I try and keep my body in the best shape I can. So when I come back, it's like I don't have to get in shape and learn how to play volleyball again. But yeah, this one was a really long one.
Yeah. But so good. You just took a little sabbatical.
I took a sabbatical. And like, I'm not saying like everybody should do it. But for me, I feel like it was I'm really happy with my choice.
Yeah. What was the day-to-day?
In Turkey?
So you woke up.
Or in Turkey or in
Well,
Italy?
We'll do Italy.
Okay.
So you woke up and you were gone at 8?
Yeah.
On the bus?
We get on the bus. It was hilarious. Like we got on a school bus every morning, like a 7-year-old woman and a 21-year-old, like got on a school bus, like from all over the world. And then we like every week we had a very specific schedule and sometimes we'd be at the school, sometimes we'd be on field trips. And then there was 3 weekend trips where we stayed together in a hotel and we learned about that region. But yeah, it was a dream, honestly. It was like vacation. We would do a lesson in the morning, and then at 10 o'clock, we had cake and coffee.
For breakfast? Okay.
And then after coffee, we'd usually like prep the food for lunch, and the chefs would cook, and we'd watch them. And then we'd have like the most incredible lunch that was like all from the farm. And then we'd have another lesson after lunch, and then head back.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I'd go to the gym or like do the hills in this town we lived in were so gnarly, so did a lot of hill sprints, but it was really fun.
Easy choice for a workout there.
Yeah, easy.
Do you have just notebooks full of stuff?
I used my iPad because it's something that I don't love, but with all of the travel, it's just kind of essential for books and I would have 50 books and notebooks, so. I have so many notebooks full of stuff. And like we did so much every day that like I don't remember it all. So I was like, they would make fun of me all the time because I was just like trying to write down everything everybody said, which was crazy because like in college or in all of my school life, I never was interested and I was not a good student.
Isn't it so funny?
When you want to learn about something.
If I were to go back to school, I would just take the classes that I want to take.
Totally.
And I'd be so invested.
Totally.
Instead of just, you have to take X, Y, and Z.
Totally. It's crazy. It was very shocking to me, like how interested I could be and how invested I could be in somebody speaking because, I mean, I didn't even go to class, let alone like take notes. And there I'm like, wait, what? Can you hold on? Can you repeat that, please? It was really, really cool though. It made me realize like how much I really love this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, what are things that you've been able to take home and apply to your life? Because you're not living on a farm in Sicily.
Totally.
Beach.
It's been really interesting and a little bit discouraging just because it's so expensive to do all the things that I would want to do. One of the professors said, like, don't be discouraged when you start learning about the food industry. It can be very discouraging.
Very.
And she's like the best thing to do when you're discouraged is to like connect with the people who are growing your food and like make relationships. So like starting to develop relationships. So that's kind of been my goal since I've been home is like starting to reach out to different farmers and like form relationships with the people who make your food. And like I've been buying stuff from Italy, trying to like, but again, it's expensive and not everybody has the time to do all of these things, but trying to like create those networks so then I can like have my people here. But it's a lot of work. What are some of the things? Oh my God. Just like making more food. I'm just so curious about it. Organic is a really interesting thing to me. Finding good quality meat is very interesting to me.
It's hard.
It's really hard. There's so many things. It's kind of hard to get into all of it. But wine, organic wine, so interesting to me.
Really?
It's like wine is crazy. I'm obsessed with wine even more now. But just like the process of it. But organic wine basically means, or natural wine means that nothing's been added to or removed from the grape.
Okay.
It's just the grape, which you'd think that would be normal. But wine is the only good that doesn't need an ingredients label. It's the only food product that doesn't require an ingredient label. Huh. And in the States, they can have up to 250 ingredients in a bottle of wine.
250? That's so
And you will
many.
have no idea what's in it.
Holy cow.
So that's been very eye-opening to me. And then like that's called conventional wine, and that's 90% of the wine in America, 95%.
Wow.
And the chemicals and like if they want a woody flavor, they will put wood chips in it and then just strain it out. Like they just will throw things in it to like get the desired flavor profile.
Huh.
And we'll never know because there's no ingredient label. So I've been like, that's one of the things I'm like, I can't do the conventional wine anymore.
So you're all organic wine
I'm
now?
into the organic wines, the biodynamic, all of that.
So no more 99 crimes for me?
No, I mean, I don't want to be a snob about it. That's the other thing. Like everything's within reason, you know? It's like, if I have a glass here and there, it's not going to kill me. It's more just like I don't really want to put this in my body.
Right. It's once you see it, you can't unsee it. And that's what wearing a Whoop changed me forever with drinking.
Yes.
Because, I mean, I would have 2 drinks, and I'd check that thing, and it was like, you are 2% recovered. I was like, but it wasn't that bad.
It's crazy.
Like, no, this is an aberration. I'd have 2 more drinks. It's like, you're at 2% recovered?
Yeah.
You got to be kidding me.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
If I can have 2 glasses of wine and I'm good. But I can't have hard alcohol. My Aura ring score is awful, and any hard alcohol of any kind or more than 2 glasses of wine, it's like a worthless night of sleep.
That's what, and Tri wears a Whoop. This poor guy, he's in the red every day. But after they got knocked out, wherever we just were, Guadalajara, we got a bottle of tequila, and it was good tequila. It was 1800 glass. He sends me a screenshot the next day. He's at 63%. It was like, this is my best recovery.
So that's the key, a little tequila.
Right. So I haven't playing well in tequila. That's the solution. But it was alcohol and added sugar.
Interesting.
Because like the Whoop, did you wear a Whoop?
I did.
Okay. Because it would ask you like, did you eat added sugar, this and that?
Right.
And the correlations of my worst recovery were added sugar, alcohol, and sharing a bed.
Oh, that's right. I remember you telling me that. Wow. That's interesting.
And it's funny because that's apparently a very common thing that when you start sharing a bed, but the way to negate that is to have 2 duvets. So each of you have your own duvet.
Really?
Yeah. And Delaney's all about it. And so we're going to...
Euro style.
Yeah.
Wow. So interesting. For me, it's coffee. If I have any coffee. Any coffee.
No
and
kidding.
Adderall. So I don't take Adderall anymore.
You're off the Adderall train?
I'm off the Adderall.
Good for you.
Yeah.
And no coffee?
Well, no, I still have coffee.
I was about to say, so you went from
I would be like
super stimulants to nothing.
Yeah, no, I still have coffee, but it significantly impacts my Whoops or my whatever Aura ring score.
I would not, if that were a problem for me, it would be a very big problem.
Yeah.
I love coffee.
No, it's a really big problem, but I mean, it just impacts me so much.
Yeah.
But I love it.
Me too.
I love it, and I love the routine of it, and I love the smell of it, and I just need it in the morning. It's just like, it's a thing.
Yeah.
But it has a very large impact.
Have you tried, does it have the same impact if it's decaf?
Well, I'm also anti-decaf coffee.
Okay.
It's bad for you.
Is it? Mm-hmm. Okay. I'll trust you. Whatever you say. It's like, she's the farmer. She knows.
Don't do decaf coffee.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't do it anyway because I'm like, I love
What's
caffeine.
the point? Yeah.
The only thing, I used to do decaf if I was commentating night matches, and just the placebo would give me
just enough.
Yeah. And then I could sleep.
That's smart.
How hard was it coming off Adderall?
So I really no, I've been on it like very strictly, and I've been on it like I'll just take it when I really need it.
Yeah.
And every time I go to Turkey, I go off of it because like I don't like putting medicine in my body that is not real. And so it wasn't like a big adjustment going off it.
Okay.
I'm a different person when I'm on it. So the like productivity is definitely a little lower. But it's kind of one of those controlling my mind things where like, I don't want to be dependent on anything, and especially something chemical. I'm not anti it. Like I think it can be good for people, but, being able to be like, no, I can do it without that. Yeah. Gives me a lot of power.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Because I remember taking some in college, and I was like, holy shit. Like, this is dangerous.
Yeah.
I can't mess around with this
Totally.
stuff.
And I think it negatively, like, it was 2022. I was playing with Brandie.
Okay.
Yeah. That year. And then I went to the Maldives with Julia, and I was like very not in a good place. And I was taking so much Adderall, and I was like having a lot of like eating issues. And I think that also was a big reason why I don't take it, because I'm not hungry when I'm on it. Yeah. And it kind of like started a really negative eating issue for myself. So that's another part of it. But it just like, I was taking so much that my anxiety was through the roof. I wasn't sleeping. I was like so skinny, and my hair was falling out. I was just like, it was too much, you know? And so while productivity may go down, I think there will be a lot of other benefits, as well as just being able to be like confident that I can do things without a crutch of some sort.
Good for you. I feel like you're coming back just like a whole person.
Yeah, and I went in bits and pieces. Yeah. I think too, just being with Micah in Turkey, like having time and like spending time with the person I love, and a lot of time to reflect, and then going on this like, and the day I left for Italy from Turkey, I was like, what am I doing? Like, you know, mental breakdown. And then I got there, and it was, I think I needed to connect back to like who I am. When I signed up, I like went as Susanna, which is my real name. Yeah. And so everybody there called me Susanna, which is like what nobody calls me that, but I was called for the first like 5 years of my life. And so, and my nickname there instead of Zana was Susie, and I just loved it. I was like, I'm back to like me, like this is like, you know, and so I just sort of embodied like, I'm going to be just myself. And like somebody there was like, you're really like goofy. Like, I think you come off on Instagram, and like when we first met you was like really like, but you're like so goofy. And I'm like, that is, I am. Like, thank you. Like, that's like who I am, and like who I've not been showing to the world. So like, it was a really special experience.
It's really cool. Yeah. Goofy Z's back.
She's back. I hope. I'm going to try.
So are we calling you Susie from now on?
No. That is off limits for my CTF people only, and this one mom in middle school who always called me Susie, and I hated it, but
You're just it's Zana.
Sicily Susie.
Sicily Susie.
Yeah, Chef Susie. Maybe. On the court, I'm Zana. We can have multiple personality disorder. It's fine.
I think Zana's one of the coolest names. I didn't know your name was Susanna for the longest time.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. I forget. Like, I've just been Zana for so long. Yeah.
Did your parents come up?
Yeah, my dad, like when I was born. So I've always been Zana. Okay. My dad is Larry. He's Lauren. We all have nicknames that we like go by. Yeah. But it is such a cool name, and I love it so much that I want like my grandchild to be named Zana. I hope that somebody loves me enough that they want to name their kid after me. That's one of my goals in life. Actually, where was I? The Atlanta AVP. Somebody came up to me and was like, "We named our kid Zana after you," and I'm like, "That's creepy."
No way.
Yes.
I mean, that's cool.
It was so cool, but I like would love for it to be like a relative.
Yeah.
But no, it was very sweet. I was like honored, but I'm like, no, it is a cool name. Like, even like if maybe you just like the name, that's cool. It's a cool name.
Me and Dee, we've kind of loosely committed to doing the middle names after people that we love, and we've already started the trend with a Z middle name. It's Austin Zahn.
You wouldn't. I would cry. I would literally cry.
Well, it's been with how much happier Dee is since you've been home?
Really? Oh my gosh,
yeah. Especially
we've been having so much fun.
It's a combo because I was gone and then you came home, and so the timing was perfect.
Good work.
Just talking to her, like I can almost tell when she's hung out with you.
Oh my god, that's amazing!
And you can like hear it on the phone. So.
Oh, that's so cool. It makes me want to cry. I'm emotional these days.
So it's been great for me to have you home as well because wife is significantly happier.
Happy wife, happy life.
She loves one-on-one with you. That's
we've been having so much fun. And it's perfect for me. And like, Austin's there. It's just a dream.
Yeah. And
I'm just like, this is the coolest sport ever.
It's so fun.
It's so fun. We're at the beach. It's been lovely weather most of the time. Yeah, it's been great.
Welcome back.
Thanks.
It's good to have you home.
Thank you.
Well, where can people follow you? And whatever good stuff you're going to be putting out.
Zana Muno. I have a lot of fun things I want to do soon, so keep on the lookout. My brother and I are doing speed clinics.
Oh, that's right. I meant to ask about that.
Yeah. It's kind of like, I love volleyball, but I feel like I'm still such a student of it. I've had like major like, I don't know, I feel uncomfortable sometimes trying to teach it, but like when it comes to like speed and being an athlete, I'm like, I feel like I got that part. Yeah. And like my brother, we've been playing one-on-one too, and I'm like, he's definitely got that part. And like, we want to connect with people and like make athletes. You know, I feel like we've gotten so specialized. Like go out and be an athlete, and then it translates in whatever sport you do. And we played a bunch of sports. You played a bunch of sports, and it translates when you just know how to move your body. Yeah. So we've decided to start doing that, and then I want to start a podcast too.
Oh, that'd be fun.
But about food. Okay. Trying to like my own learning journey of like learning about different food and the processes and how things are grown. Just I'm really passionate about educating people about the food that we're consuming. So I want to do something. I don't know yet. And then my Instagram's on Muno. Okay. That's it.
And your brother was a professional baseball player. Yeah. So he knows a thing or two.
Yeah. He's a beast. He's so fast. We've been like going through the workouts, and I usually beat a lot of people in these types of drills, and I'm getting smoked. So you're in good hands.
Well, where are you doing your speed clinics in Hermosa?
In Hermosa. Okay. Yeah. Every morning on Saturday, and then we might add more days in the summer when a lot of the beach people are down here, because a lot of people want to do that. So.
And they just DM you on Instagram to get a spot?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I'm excited for your food podcast.
Thanks. I mean, it's like I have people who I want to interview already. I'm like making a list. Like Jen Kessie is somebody I'm really interested in talking to.
She runs like a trout farm, right?
Yeah, so cool. Like I would love to know more about it.
I think it's so funny because I think she's a vegetarian.
Is she really?
So she's got this trout farm.
Interesting.
I don't know for sure.
Maybe she's a pescatarian. I don't know. See, I would love to learn. And she works with food, and she's chosen such a different lifestyle that to me seems very real, and from an outsider, who knows? But
I bet Kleiman would love it too.
Totally.
If you and Kleiman hosted a podcast together, holy cow.
And we're neighbors
now. That would pop off. And yeah, you're 2 streets down from each other.
Okay. Putting ideas in my mind. Keep on the lookout.
I love it. Well, Z, welcome back.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for hanging out on the pod again.
Thanks for having me.
Our annual Z show.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Oh my God, I'm sweating.